Okay, so this session is going to be about tips and seals and everything about these tips. As you can see, you got two suppliers, Titan and Graco. Don't ask me why. One section, three section. Don't ask me why. But you got all these tips, and I'll run through them. Okay, up here you're going to have your FFLP tips, fine finish, low pressure. You go down here, you're going to have your LP, high production, low pressure. Got these combo packs. Most often than not, you're paying for the tip and getting the guard for free. You got your spare pumps. That's not about this. Okay, so you got up here your WR 1229 rack tips, wide rack tips, your regular latex tips, more wider tips, tip combos. You see these grays? Heavy duty. You're probably going to use this if you're working in the shipyard, spraying hulls and epoxy paint and whatnot, industrial paint. These yellow tips, these are line marking tips. You're not going to use these on your walls. Okay, even if you want a straight line, you're not going to use those on your walls. Your economy tips, your rack 5s, exterior, stipple sealing primer. Not the best tip to use. I prefer the green tips, and I'll explain why. Up here you have Titan's purple tips, which are your fine finish tips, and then you got your green tips, which is your low pressure tips. As you can see, Graco has 2-in-1, Titan doesn't, but to each his own, right? You got your regular tips, your economy tips, your line marking tips down there. Okay, so we're going to go to our tips up here, because this is the one kicker. Now, most guys will buy a tip, they'll throw this piece of paper away, this FFLP tip up here. Okay, they'll throw this piece of paper away, and here is some very important information about this seal. I haven't read it myself because well, who reads a piece of paper, right? But as long as I know, the customer will know if I tell them. Okay, but here's the main point I want to show you. Okay, so you got your greens, you got your blues. Now, I'm going to show you what the deal is with these tip seals. Alright, so here you got one for your greens and one for your blues. Now you probably have this yellow thing. That's a solvent seal. Alright, so if you're using any kind of lacquer with some lacquer thinner in there and it's eating up the black washer, you can separate this. Forgive me, I only have two hands. There we go. And then you got that, you see? So you put that right in there. And there we go. I know, clean my nails, whatever. Alright, so here's the important thing though. And this is a number from Graco, okay? So 85 to 90% of painters don't know what these are. Some are smart enough to collect them, but most often just throw them away. So I'm going to show you where you're going to find them if you're not familiar with it. So again, I'm going to hold this on my chin, because I'm just one guy and this company won't hire another person to help me. So here's your guard. Okay, I'm just going to check to see if I got the shot right. There's your guard. You're going to take your tip out. Okay, you're going to look inside. It's like, oh, there's no hole. See that black thing? That is a seal. Now, this is the orange guards. Most guys, they'll be using the blue guards. If you're wondering, this orange guard only fits the black and the yellow tips. So you're probably going to use this if you're a line marking guy, or if you're cheap, sorry, if you're using the economy tips. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to, let me see if I can, oh, look at that, fancy case. Okay, so you're going to use a pen or a screwdriver and you're going to pop the seal in from the other end. There it is. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like. And to put it back in, you're going to prop it up using the tip. Alright, so it's going to sit like this. You can do this with the greens and the blues too. It has that little lip right there, you see? It's a little lip. You can fit that black thing right on there. So you're going to match that barrel. You see how it's curved? You're going to match it so that the curve lines up. So it's basically, you see that? That's where your tip's going to slide in. So you're going to put that in, and you're going to try to do it from the front. I can't see it, so I'm going to do it again just for your benefit. It's hard, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so there it is. You're going to see it come in through that hole. That's what she said. And you're going to match that curve. So I like curves. Look at that. Oh yeah. Okay, you're gonna just push that in so it's nice and flush, and there you go. In. Now, if you don't have this seal in, whether it's the black or the metal piece, you'll know right away when paint starts to leak out from between this plastic thing and this metal nut, this guard, this butterfly guard. This prevents you from getting skin injection. So you can't go like this. You know, close to the skin, it'll inject fluid. Maybe bad example, but you don't want this to happen and inject yourself with paint. Get yourself to a hospital right away. Okay, so that's how you put it in. That's what it's used for. It's basically to provide a seal from the tip to this, and we'll screw in. This is just an extension, but if you're using the gun, same thing. It's just going to provide a seal so there's no breakage or no open lines for fluid to come through. Now, here's the kicker, okay? So going back to this, you have your greens and your blues. Solvent seal. Now, look at this. Look at this right here. You notice that this center hole is bigger than this center hole. That means you have to use this seal that came with this package with this tip. You don't have to change them out every time, just if it leaks or if you wanna. And you gotta use this seal with this tip. Okay? The reason being is the half pressure is only enabled because they narrowed the cylinder. So if you can see, the hole that the paint comes through is smaller on this one. As you can see, the seal is smaller too. I'll use this. See, it's bigger here. Now, if you don't use this seal with this fine finish low pressure tip, it's not going to work properly, okay? You're going to find a couple things. You're going to find yourself overcompensating on your pressure. You're going to increase your pressure. And when you do that, you're going to increase the overspray in the room. You're also going to be blasting through this tip, which is going to wear it out, and you're also going to make your machine work harder. Alright? So if you use this seal, wrong seal. If you use a fine finish seal with this one, what's going to happen is you might get spits. Alright? So that's what you got to look out for. Now every time I get a machine in here, I just pull the tip out and see, and you know, if it's not the right seal, I'll tell the guy right away. Now, it's important that you do use the right seals. This is a pressure efficient tip. This is meant to give you half the amount of pressure, which means less overspray in the air. And it also gives you a feathered edge, which allows you to blend. It's like this. It's like this. Instead of two hard lines, you have to somehow blend together. This is why I like this tip. It makes it easier or faster for the new guys or the experienced guys, right? But you have to use this to achieve the half pressure. Like I said, more overspray in the air means more wasted paint. You use this, you can dumb down your pressure by half. It'll create less overspray in the air. You'll save more money. Nice number to work with is, let's say you save 10%. That's 10% is good enough to signify a change, and at the very least, right? So let's say you spend $50,000 a year in paint, and you use this tip. You'll be saving 10% of that, which is $5,000. That can buy you a new machine from me, right? Or you know, a vacation for your wife, not me. Anyways, you gotta use this seal properly. If you don't, it's not gonna work properly. You're gonna waste money, time, patience. Okay, it's just one monkey wrench after another. And the solvent seal, don't forget about that. Alright, so that's that. Now you go up to this wide rack. Actually, let's go back here, because a lot of guys don't even know the number system. Okay, so each tip's gonna have a is gonna signify a number. Alright, never mind the LP, we're just going to focus on the numbers. The first number, that number 5, is going to tell you the width, but it's going to be 5 inches on the left, 5 inches on the right, for a total of 10 inches from 1 foot away. Always double the first number by 2. So you go up to this 618, that's going to be a 12-inch fan. You got your 310, that's going to be a 6-inch fan. You got your 108, that's going to be a 2-inch fan. Alright, the last numbers will tell you the size of the orifice hole. That means the smaller the number, the smaller the hole. The smaller the number, the thinner the product you can spray. The bigger the the bigger the hole, the thicker the product, right? So you want to use the right tips. Now, if you're unsure of ever of what tips to use, when you buy your paint, ask for a data page. It will tell you everything you need to know about the tip. Well, not everything. It'll at least tell you the size and the pressures to spray with. Now, keep in mind, these are low pressure tips. Most data pages won't factor that in. It's still quite new to the market. But there is a way to set your tips, and honestly, you don't need the guideline. But in the meantime, as something that can get you going, just ask for a data page if you don't know. Alright, so you go up to here, you see your wide racks, you see that? 2433, that's going to be a 24-inch fan, 2 feet. But the last two numbers, when you ever buy these tips, go to the accessory book that each store should have, the Graco accessory book, because there is a conversion table. That does not mean 33 thousandths of an inch orifice hole compared to your regular tips. That's most likely going to be the orifice hole of a 21, a 19. Alright, it doesn't mean that. In fact, you got to factor in the wideness of it. So call Graco hotline if you want more information about how that really works. But the conversion table's on the top. Again, you got your combo packs. Same thing, number system. 6-inch fan, 17 thousandths of an inch orifice hole. They sell these 5 packs of the seals if you need them. Alright. Yeah, and Titan tips, they're decent. You don't have to worry about seals with the Titan parts like the Gracos, because they all have the same seal. But basically, the pressure efficient tip, all that magic is happening inside the tip instead of through the seal. So that's a plus, right? Yeah. Now going back to this, I'll tell you how to set your tip properly, because like I said, you don't need the guideline. So here's what you do. You set your pressure than what you normally would set it at, and you get a piece of cardboard and you try to get fingering. Not enough pressure, you get these lines, right? That's what you want to look out for. Now what you do is you increase your pressure and you squeeze the trigger every time until that fan pattern is nice and solid. Alright? And whatever pressure that you stop at, that's the pressure you're going to spray at. And the reason you want to know this is because of this. In the wintertime and in the summertime is different temperatures. Colder temperatures will make paint thicker. Hot temperatures will make paint thinner. Industrial guys will actually have a vat to heat up their fluid so they don't have to thin it down. Alright? So, considering that your paint's thinner in the summer, you don't have to actually increase it as you normally would as high as in the wintertime. So if let's say you do increase it like you do in the wintertime, you're going to get more overspray, you're going to waste a little bit of money. Wintertime, you might just be messing around trying to get it to work because the normal setting that you have it at won't spray it because it's too thick. So that's one good little trick that I do. If you use an intercom, it means you're too lazy or you're a child. Go take a walk. Anyways, yeah, so try that spray tip calibration trick. It will work. It'll be better for you, just because you won't waste money. So yeah, there we go. That's all for the tips. I specifically made this video though for the green tips and specifically the seal. When you buy this tip, when you get your paint at the store, they're probably not going to tell you because they don't work on machines. They probably haven't read the paper. I haven't read the paper. I repair these things. But I do know when I see something different, you should investigate. If you have the time and the patience, rather. But yeah, that's about tips for now. Smash that dislike button if you dislike it, but I prefer you smash the like button because chances are I saved you 10% a year just by making this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.